So here's what I'll tell you. I'll give you a couple of them. I think they're all related to a general theme, right? And the theme is, look, I'm a pretty direct person, right? And I don't know how else to say this. Tone deaf, I think, is the theme. And again, I don't say that with like judgment behind it, right? I honestly say it because I'm hoping, and you and I have talked about this, I'm hoping that Salesforce or people at Salesforce listen to these podcasts or read blogs or read quotes that I'm in and whatever it may be. Because I'm actually trying to like help them, right? Weirdly, help their customers, which is really my focus, our focus.
Welcome to Insights for IT Negotiations, a podcast by UpperEdge, a leading IT sourcing, negotiation, and project execution advisory firm. I'm John Belden, UpperEdge's Chief Research and Strategy Officer.
And I'm Kylie Chisholm, UpperEdge's Marketing Manager. Join us every other week as we share insights to help you maximize the value of your key IT relationships. In each episode, we'll delve into the topics that matter most to IT decision makers and sourcing professionals. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Insights for IT Negotiations. I am Kylie Chisholm. I am UpperEdge's Content Marketing Manager, and I am joined once again by our Salesforce Practice Advisory Leader, Adam Mansfield. Adam, how are you doing?
I am doing well. I'm realizing, though, that I need to get a haircut. I'm seeing myself in the corner here, but I'm doing well.
That is good to hear. See, we all learn something on these podcast episodes. Me, you, the audience.
The world. Yeah, exactly.
What we're hoping the audience learns today is a little bit about Salesforce Renewals. If you're a Salesforce customer, you know that Dreamforce is right around the corner by the time this episode comes out, literally right around the corner. And there's been, Salesforce, I feel like, is in the news every other week. Every other week, you and I are sitting down and chatting about something new with Salesforce. So we figured it was a good time to sort of peel back a bit and focus on Salesforce Renewals, focus on what you need to know, how to be successful at them, so that way you can go into Dreamforce with an idea, with a plan in mind for any upcoming negotiations or renewals that you have with the vendor. So let's just dive right in. I know you have been talking a lot about Salesforce customers as well as, reporters. Like I was saying, it's always coming up in the news. If you had to identify the biggest challenge or even complaint right now amongst Salesforce customers, what would you say that challenge is?
That's a good question. So here's what I'll tell you. I'll give you a couple of them. I think they're all related to a general theme, right? And the theme is, look, I'm a pretty direct person, right? And I don't know how else to say this. Tone deaf, I think, is the theme. And again, I don't say that with like judgment behind it, right? I honestly say it because I'm hoping, and you and I have talked about this, I'm hoping that Salesforce or people at Salesforce listen to these podcasts or read blogs or read quotes that I'm in and whatever it may be. Because I'm actually trying to like help them, right? Weirdly, help their customers, which is really my focus, our focus. So I'll give you some examples. They're spending an enormous amount of time, including their leader, Mark Benioff, talking about Agentforce, talking about AI. And I get it, right? Of course. And our customers get it, right? The problem is that's all they're talking about. That's all they're doing. Like Dreamforce, you mentioned, coming up. Agentforce. Look at the speaker list. Look at the agendas. Look at everything. Everything is Agentforce. In fact, I think last Dreamforce, he made a joke, Benioff, about renaming their company Agentforce.
Yeah, I remember that.
The problem is that you have all these customers that are sitting there going, okay, I'm not saying we're not interested. I'm not saying we can't get there, but I have a renewal right now. I have products I'm already using. I don't need AI yet. In fact, I don't know when I'm going to, but the point is I don't need it. I need you to invest in what I already have. I need you to help me get more value out of what I already have. I need you to present proposals that don't have ridiculous price increases unless I add Agentforce. If I'm a SELA customer, which is a bundled construct, not to go too deep into this, but if I come to you and say, I don't need everything that's in my SELA and I'm paying X millions of dollars a year, I do not want you to tell me, well, you can reduce some of your volume if you put in Agentforce. It's not resonating with customers. It feels, and again, I hate saying this, like car salesy, right? Like what can I do to put you in this new Agentforce? Like it's ridiculous. Yeah. I would also tell you, and look, I think optics in life are really important in all walks of life. Okay. Like someone coming to you, telling you they feel really sorry about the news that they just heard with a smile on their face doesn't really land well. Are you really? You're feeling my pain? Why are you smiling? Stop. So when Benioff gets on CNBC and these programs and he gets interviewed on these podcasts, which he's doing a lot more of, and he talks about how they're reducing 4,000 heads, not people, heads from his company. And he's excited with a grin on his face because they're being replaced with Salesforce's Agentforce, which, by the way, I question that. But the point is, how do you think that lands? It doesn't land well. And I've had too many conversations with massive customers of theirs or smaller customers there, with reporters, with the financial community. It doesn't matter. All of them are saying the same thing. You have single-digit revenue growth. You're not excelling your growth. I get why you're focused where you are. You want to be the leader. You want to get ahead of it. That's all well and good, but maybe you should take a step back and listen to your customers. Like that's the biggest complaint. On top of this, what are we doing with ITSM? Like now you're rolling out ITSM. What? Because you're mad because McDermott, CEO of ServiceNow, former CEO of SAP, is elevating CSM into a CRM platform and he's competing with you. So now you're going to roll out ITSM to compete with him. And I'm not saying it's that simple, but like, what are we doing? Focus on your core. Focus on the companies you bought: Slack, Tableau, MuleSoft, Informatica. Show me how it's going to be integrated. So just stop. Like that level of tone deaf, it really, really isn't landing well at all. It just isn't.
Yeah, and to your point, there were challenges that customers were facing on the core products before Agentforce and AI came into the picture. And instead of Salesforce addressing and fixing those challenges, they've just doubled down on Agentforce.
100%. And like, again, and this is important, and I know we're going to talk some more here today about various things, right? All related to this, obviously Salesforce, but here's another thing, right? Like, it's okay as a cloud vendor, an enterprise IT vendor, to be investing in the future and innovating. Of course, I'm not saying you shouldn't be innovating, but there's also scales, right? Like if all of my subscription dollars as a customer are going towards enhancements, which by the way, I don't even know if they really are doing what you say they're doing, but let's say even they might or are. I don't care if my underlying products, which I'm spending millions of dollars for, are not giving me what I want. Like it's hard for me to go, oh, cool, let me look at the shiny thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much common sense, quite honestly, which is why I get so frustrated.
Yeah.
For my customers, so.
Sure. And this is something, as you were talking, we're diving deeper into this in a white paper that we're going to have going live pretty soon too. So definitely, if it's live by the time this episode goes live, I'll make sure to link it in the show notes. If not, be on the lookout for that.
What a great little plug you just did there. That was smooth. That was really good.
That's why they put me on the marketing team.
That was good.
But yeah, definitely check that out because it is going to dive deeper. I've read it. I can attest that we dive deeper into that topic. But now that we've sort of laid the groundwork on what those challenges are, how do you recommend that Salesforce addresses these challenges and the approach that Salesforce is taking with their customers today?
Yeah, I think a couple things, right? Regardless of when your renewal date is, regardless of when you have to talk to Salesforce, I would be asking to talk to Salesforce, right? Like, I think it's communication in all walks of life is incredibly important. Okay. In this matter, I think you have to really elevate the conversation and you have to start having it, right? You have to get things in writing. Like you have to have things, unfortunately, to call back on. Because when it comes time for them to push, and they likely already are, it's the things you don't necessarily need. If you can tell them, look, I know you were aware of us needing more value, because I had 5 of my own conversations with 5 different people. I've sent 46 emails. There's 17 voicemails. There's us requesting workshops that we still haven't gotten a response to. So there's no way you didn't know. Yeah. I would also tell you that, and we're seeing this with customers, right? No, we don't make product recommendations, right? We don't have skin in the game with any vendor. But what I would say is I would start thinking about what are some areas where perhaps you could consider going in a different direction with Salesforce. You got to give yourself time. You got to give yourself the ability to move off. There's change management. There's a whole host of things. But I don't know. Are you getting the full value from Marketing Cloud? Is that an area where you might have an opportunity to consider a different path? Commerce Cloud. I'm sure Shopify would love your business. And again, I'm talking as if it might be easy, but give yourself time, explore, make it real, make them understand that you're kind of done with it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, I'll take a different path. Let's say you are interested in Agentforce. Okay. Great. Really challenge them. Make them really earn that business, because clearly they need to get that business.
Yeah.
So don't just accept a PowerPoint slide that has a few logos on it. I'd ask to talk to those customers, right? You're going to be at Dreamforce and you're going to see people talking on these keynotes or in these sessions. Ask to talk to those people, not just listen to what was crafted. Put them in a position to have to explain.
Yeah.
Make Salesforce truly sell you something. I would force commitments, protections, flexibility. Like, if this is supposed to be something I should be focused on, and I'm willing to look at it, I'm willing to maybe make a commitment, you better not hesitate on giving me assurances, because that's a red flag. Like, in other words, you have to really put Salesforce in the proverbial box. You have to make them have to say yes or no or maybe. I'm accepting maybe, but the point is you have to start that path. And I leave you with this part too. I think this is critically important. I think you all have to look at yourselves. Customers, you got to look inward. Are you a unified unit? Are you communicating in a unified way to Salesforce? Are there rogue players at your company that are cratering your leverage? You got to look inward too, right? Like, we spend a lot of time talking about what Salesforce should do, and that's important. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of customers out there that really could benefit from looking at themselves.
Yeah.
You talk about you don't have full usage or utilization. Awesome. How granular do you understand it? If you don't granularly understand it, put the time in to get to that place. Arm yourself with that. If 15 of the key people at your company, stakeholders, are saying one thing, but one isn't, and that one individual is flying over to Dreamforce and letting the cat out of the bag or crushing the unified communication, get together, figure it out. Like, I think that's a huge part to preparation. It's not just preparing for your conversations with Salesforce, it's preparing yourselves for your conversations with yourselves.
Did you know that UpperEdge offers subscription advisory services? This on-demand solution provides essential benchmarks and market insights specific to your business needs precisely when you need it, empowering you and your team to make informed decisions for your IT initiatives. Position your team for success. Reach out today via the link in the show notes to learn more. And I'm glad you bring up Dreamforce because obviously this is a huge opportunity for these conversations to happen in person. Um, and you kind of started to get into this, but let's like really dive into Dreamforce. Any any tips, suggestions, or thoughts on how Salesforce customers can make it the best use of their time?
Another great question. So here's the thing. I will be there. So one tip would be meet with me. Uh, um, not just for the
I highly
laughs.
recommend meeting Adam as well.
There
I
you
endorse
go.
that.
There you go. There you go. No, I mean seriously, I'll be out there. I love going out there, quite honestly, because I get to talk to a lot of our clients in person. I like being in the thing, so to speak. It's a big thing. A lot of stuff going on. Always great to see Metallica again. Big fan of theirs. Benson Boone, yeah, good. Not as excited, but
That's quite a pairing.
it's gonna be, yeah, that's interesting. But in all seriousness, like, look, I like having conversations off the cuff. I like having people who've never met myself or UpperEdge before challenge me. What should I be doing? I'm going into this meeting. Like, that's one thing I would recommend. Get time with me. Other thing, I kind of mentioned it before, unified messaging. I would do a couple things. A lot of these organizations, these customers have many people going, and that's awesome. Learn, use it, okay? But I would do a pre-meeting. I'd get everyone in a room. Hey guys, here's what's going on with Salesforce right now. They're pushing Agentforce. We have a renewal in January. I don't know if you all know this, but like, we're trying to keep telling them no, and they keep trying to find pain points in other areas to force us. Like, let's all hold the line here. I do debrief meetings. I get them on the calendar. So everyone's going to be out there. I'd like everyone to get back in. What did we learn? What kind of conversations were they having? What were they telling you? Where did you go? Who were you talking with? Get that scheduled. I would also make sure it's about, I don't even know, 10 days from now, 11 days from now. I would really be forcing your reps to have scheduled interactions with people, not listening to people, interactions with people. They're going to invite you to dinners. They're going to invite you to, let's get a coffee. They're going to invite you on the executive track. That's great. Awesome. Really force those kind of one-on-one personal conversations. Mm-hmm. I'd make sure your agendas are set in a way that it's not just focused on what they want, i.e. Agentforce, but put you in sessions, put you with people that's going to talk about how they're getting more out of what they already have. Mm-hmm. I'd also say, depending on where you are, let's say, again, you have a January renewal. Many of you do. That's Salesforce's year end. Depending on where you are in the negotiation, you may want to think about maybe canceling some of the things you agreed to do at Dreamforce. So like, hey, updated our CIO. She's not really excited about where things are at in this negotiation, and she doesn't really feel comfortable going to that dinner on Tuesday night anymore. So just want to give you a heads up. Again, that's a tough card. I get it. Relationships, I understand it. But there's a lot of power in that. In fact, we have a customer, a client, that we're in a challenging negotiation. I think ultimately we're going to get to where we need to be. But the CIO basically told me yesterday that she's no longer going to Dreamforce. Now, emotions have impact on things. I feel like I will still be meeting up with her while she's out there. But I think that goes back full circle to the first part of our conversation today.
Yeah.
The reason partly she's feeling this way, it's not just because of the offer on the table, is not where it should be. It's also all that other stuff that's in her head.
Yeah. She
sees the interviews with Ben Arnoff, calls people heads. She sees and hears and feels a Deftone Deftone? That's a band. That's what happened when we talk about Metallica, the Deftone. Tone deaf. Large vendor they spend a lot of money with. This has impact. That's probably part of playing a role in her emotions there too.
Well, Well, thank you, Adam. This was a great conversation. I think this, really helps lay a good foundation for people as they start heading to Dreamforce, or maybe they're not heading to Dreamforce, but regardless, they're going to have a negotiation or a renewal coming up. So they need to be prepared for it. So thank you so much. That was really insightful.
Thank you for listening to Insights for IT Negotiations. This episode was hosted by John Belden and Kylie Chisholm and produced by Mike Brown. Be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss a new episode. For more information on IT sourcing and risk management strategies, visit UpperEdge.com and subscribe to our monthly UpperEdge newsletter. Thank you for listening.